So after finishing Starfield, I thought it might be helpful to people if I showed you the perks and skills that I unlocked along the way. So let's go over here and let's go through them. So starting off, as you can see, I've still got 6 skill points to spend. What I did was, and this might be quite a good tip actually, is that I always think you should try and keep, especially from the middle game onwards, keep skill points in reserve, if you can, at least 2, with the idea that you may well come up to a point in the game where you need to unlock a skill in order to be able to advance. And especially when that might come to upgrading your ship's performance in terms of the distance it can travel, or the amount of firepower it can put out, or maybe even the amount of defense that it can have with its shields, and also for things like unlocking doors. So let's have a look. So the first thing I unlocked was stealth. Only bothered unlocking the first level of that, and this was really just to have the stealth meter, so when you crouch, I know that's the case. Now Persuasion, I enjoyed this quite a lot, and I took this up to rank 2. Could unlock rank 3 if I wanted to. And this just means that when you go into conversations with people, especially if you take one of the drugs first that make you a little bit more persuasive, you can talk them out of combat. You can make it so that you can buy things cheaper. You can just generally influence a conversation and win, in inverted commas, the conversation without having to resort to other means, which normally means money, or combat, or just failing that particular task, and the person won't do what you want them to do. So I like that one. Now combat, ballistics went up to rank 2 for my sort of bullet guns. We got a bit ahead of ourselves there. Dueling just unlocked rank 1 for melee weapons. The melee combat is actually quite good. You get the right sword and it's pretty good. Rank 1 again for lasers, so they do a little bit more damage. Rank 1 for pistols, and then demolitions. I just went for rank 1 with grenades. This was to give me the arc, so that when you throw a grenade, you're where it's going to land, and the grenades do have a 25% larger radius, as you can see. Did it really make that much difference? A little bit. It's worth putting a point into. Right, science. Now, Astrodynamics. Now, I took this all the way up to rank 3, because near the end of the game, you need to do some really long jumps. My ship wouldn't do it, and I couldn't be bothered to go back and add more helium, I think it is, tanks to it. So I just ranked this up to rank 3, and that enabled me to go where I needed to go, which was quite handy. So I took medicine up to rank 2, and just so that, med packs, trauma packs, emergency kits, they restore 20% additional health and 20% faster. Combat is one of the best bits about Starfield, and the ability to heal yourself. You can't avoid damage, it's going to happen, so you want to collect as many med packs, trauma kits and first aid kits, all that sort of stuff as you can, and then you want to be using them, you will be using them all the time when you're in combat. Made my scanner a little bit better, took it up to rank 2. Then when you're on planets and doing surveying, it's not quite as bad because you can scan things from further away. Didn't do that much scanning and surveying, we probably scanned about 15-20 planets, but I would have thought maybe like in a second playthrough or a third, or something where you're concentrating on doing a lot of that, ranking your scanner up would be good. Now I've ranked up a little bit in weapon engineering and spacesuit engineering, but in the end, in this first playthrough, I haven't done any modding at all for those 2 things. I'll be doing them in the next one probably, but yeah, didn't do any modding to spacesuits or weapons, just picked up the ones I used. Here we go. Now this is one where I've probably put the most points into, and this is the spaceship tech stuff. So made the ballistic weapons, so the weapons with bullets, took that up to rank 2, so they do more damage and they recharge faster. On boost packs, you've got to unlock rank 1, otherwise you can't use your boost pack. Piloting, took this up to rank 2 so that your ship is a little bit more manoeuvrable. Also, I think I may have needed it to pilot a particular ship. You can use the Frontier all the way through to the end of the game, so you don't necessarily need that. Security, took this up to rank 3. Makes picking locks easier, and it means that you can attempt harder locks. I found the lock picking sort of minigame really interesting early to mid game, but by the end you're a bit bored of doing it, so anything that made it easier was better. And in fact, right at the end, I was just ignoring locked places. I was like, I can't be bothered. Targeting control schemes, just unlock rank 1. This just enables you to, when you're in combat, you can target a ship and take out like its shield or its weapons. The idea being that then you can then board it and then take over the ship, and it becomes your ship. It's a fantastic gameplay mechanic, and the zero grav combat that you get into when you're clearing out ship is fantastic, and I want to do more of it. So I will probably be ranking this up in my next playthrough. Not necessarily needed really in the first playthrough, but it's fun to have it. It's a nice mechanic to use. And then the most important one is shield systems. As soon as you can, rank up your shield systems. Yeah, I think the challenges are to do with taking damage in your shields. So you kind of unlock a rank, you get into a combat, take a load of damage, then you can unlock another rank when you've got a skill point and stuff. And when you get it up to rank 4, it makes ship combat so much more fun. Because when you first do ship combat, you're always getting blatted, aren't you? You always get destroyed far too quickly, especially if there's more than 2 enemies. But you get your shields up to rank 4, and you can resist so much damage, you can stay in the fight a lot longer and deal out the damage, and it's a vital one, that one. So there we go. There are all of the skills and the training that I locked in my first playthrough of Starfield. Hopefully you found that useful. If you have, hit like if you want to see more on the same, press subscribe, and I will of course see you again soon.